It's a sunny afternoon. It's not noon yet. It will be Sunday afternoon soon. Hope everybody's doing okay. Here for a quick live stream. I don't know how long I'll be on, but some Q&A. Hey, Thinking Time is here. How you doing, man? Anak Anak is here. Shalom, shalom. Shavua tov. Dev Coffee is here. Hello to you. So it is the day of death of Cook, Rabbi Avraham Yitzchak Kohen Cook, one of my dead masters, though I never knew him when he was alive. He died in the early 20th century, the first chief rabbi of Israel, and somebody who I have a connection with, definitely. A philosopher and a Kabbalist and a thinker. He received a commendation of some kind, or what was it, the Victoria Cross or something from the Queen of England at the time. Hey, Shabbat Shalom is here. I hope you had a good Shabbos. Can you play a Jew harp? Hey, Kevin Spencer. The Jew harp is the mouthpiece thing, right? Correct? Or is it a harmonica? Remind me, what is a Jew harp? Hey, Donkey Camel. Black says, bro, it's almost 5 a.m. in Woodstock. Call me later. Sure thing, Black. Get some rest. Also called a Jew harp. Brother, can you please tell me, says Anak, the exact meaning of Baruch Hashem and what to respond with? Baruch Hashem means blessed be the name. Blessed is the name. That's what it is. People use it to say praise God. Right? How you doing? Praise God. Or, when something good happens, it's an exclamation that means great. Baruch Hashem. That's what that means. The way to respond to it, there is no formal way to respond to it. It's actually a response. The response, I suppose, would be Chazak u'Baruch, meaning be strong and be blessed. In the book of Ruth, right, we have Boaz who goes to the people who are busy harvesting, and he says, Adonai machem, Adonai is with you, and they say, Yevarechecha Adonai, right, God bless you. There is no formal response to Baruch Hashem. How are you doing? I'm doing well, Nolan. How are you doing? You smoke a lot of weed, bro. No, I don't, Brett Davis. No, I don't. Not at all. Even when I used to smoke, I didn't smoke copious amounts of weed. Warlight says tax dollars were promised. Everyone's tax dollars? Really? Everyone's dollars. Also, people seem to forget that the US gives aid to over 170 territories. They choose to focus on Israel, likely because they're, anti-Jewish or whatever the case may be. They all have their reasons. And it's Israel that brings most of the money that it gets back to the US industry, also something that escapes the attention of many folks. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Very Ordinary is here. Yeah, basically like Alhamdulillah, exactly. Alhamdulillah is praise God, exactly. Baruch Hashem, right? God be blessed. Exactly. Am Yisrael Chai is here. Hello, hello. How was your weekend? How was your Shabbat? How's the new moon shaping up for you? Laud says, or law, Oh, whoops. Hang on. Salvation is offered to everyone. There is no exclusion. It was the Pharisees who did not know God. Okay, if you say so. Wait, you know Hebrew? Yes, I do. Christian Ierst? Yes, I do. You know about the Jew tribe in northeast India? If you are referring to the Pashtuns, then yes. Yes, I know the Pashtuns, not well, but yes. No, it's not a Yamaha, Nolan. Not even close. It's the cheapest guitar that they had in the shop, because I wanted a very cheap guitar, because I have little kids, and if something happens to the guitar, I wouldn't want a very expensive piece of equipment to be destroyed. Also, I'm just a hobbyist. I'm just a strummer. So I just needed a cheap guitar. How was your Shabbat? My Shabbat was very good, thank God. Tenebris is here. Hello, Tenebris. How you doing? Shabbat is the Sabbath, which for the Jews is on Saturday. A time for spirituality, time for family. Good morning, Achum Lechanun. Boker Tov, the top of the morning to you. Kimat Tzaharaim Tovim. Clean the lens. Maybe that's better. Hey, Israeli fam, how you doing? Shabbat is Sabbath, no work, a day to concentrate on God. Yes, indeed. SoCal says, how do you feel about anti-Semitism in the world? The same way that I felt about it all the time, that it's part of the world. Yes, not with the hand, with the shirt on. Yeah, I tried to do it with my hand. Let's do it with a shirt. Let's clean the lens. There, maybe that's better. Maybe not. Yes, there are different sects in Judaism. Some of them are more ancient, some of them are more modern. What are they? I mean, there's the classic, let's say, Orthodox, Karaite, Samaritan Jews. You have the more modern day conservative reform reconstructionist Jews, Hasidic Jews. There are many of them. Many indeed. Rusty says, accept Jesus. Judaism is obsolete post-Christ. The truth, the light, the way. Yes, according to you, that's fine. That's fine. Good morning, my dear brother. What a pleasure to start the morning and see you. It's nice. Yeah. It's good to be on. It's good to have the time. It's good to have the time over here. Those pomegranates, yes, they are. Parvez, how you doing? Niv is here. Shalom, shalom. Yes, it's good to have the time in the middle of the day. Baby's asleep, and I'm out here in the yard. Yeah, pomegranates. Remember, chai tea gonna make some good over it. As for Judaism, obsolete post-Christ, not for the Jews. The Torah is very clear about this. The covenant remains. The covenant persists. So, no, I'm not outside from last night. I slept. I slept a few hours. Grant says, good morning, my wise Jewish friend. Not wise, though I try to stand on the shoulders of them, of the wise. I am in the same spot that I was last night. YouTube wants me to ask you, do you like roller coasters? That's the Q&A that it's prompting me to ask. So, yes, I do have that nose, that's for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, Garrow. Yes, I do. I've got the Jewish nose. Hello, Himanshu. Love a roller coaster, says Grant. Been to all theme parks in Florida. I've been to Walt Disney World twice. Once when I was 12. Once when I was in my early 20s. Was I 20? How old was I? 23? 24? And the difference between them was vast. Awesome. How long have you played? Not much. I'm just a strummer. So, on and off for years. But I just bought this guitar last week. You would like to apply for a loan? Well, I don't give out loans, Dobbs, but perhaps consider talking to an actual banker or somebody who's in finance. Nice, bro. Keep jamming. Yeah, for sure. Nachman Meuman, says Rachum Mechanun. So yeah, Rabbi Nachman of Breslev and the Nanachim, it's a very big controversy on whether or not Hapetek, Yesh Hapetek, Yesh Baal Hapetek, whether or not Rabbi Israel Dov Ber Odeser did actually receive that note on Yud Zayin Tammuz. Right, and everything, and people say that it was real, people say that it was just a hoax, people say that it was people in his yeshiva that were taunting him. However, regardless of the note, I've read the book Shema Yisrael about how Rabbi Yisrael Dov Ber Odeser, when he lived in Tveria, how he started to become a Breslev Chassid, and how he found the book Hishtapchut HaNefesh, much like it was the same, it was the first Breslev book, I think, that he came across, either Hishtapchut or Meshivat Nefesh. I think it was Hishtapchut HaNefesh. And with me as well, that's the first Breslev book proper that I came across. And it was a real inspiration and a real influence. And I've been with Hitbodedut all my life, but only after reading Hishtapchut HaNefesh did I understand just how much of a crucial and fundamental pillar of the Hebrew way Hitbodedut, seclusion, can be, the outpouring of the soul. Lots of books, lots of stories, says Rachum V'Chanun. I believe in everything and believe in nothing, and I carry everything out innocently. Again, b'tmimut. And again, another thing that Rabbi Nachman said, he said that tmimut, that it's a very great wisdom to be innocent. It's a very great wisdom to be simple. It's a great wisdom, and you need to be very wise in order to stay simple. So yeah, which is true. Second chance, day 3 of asking if you would support a two-state solution. I did support a two-state solution at the time, Thomas. And I answered you last time you asked this, if indeed it was you. And I think it was. I answered this already many times, including when you asked, I believe. But yes, I did support a two-state solution. The thing is that every time Israel reached out its hand, it was bitten down or blown up. What does Selah mean in Hebrew? So Selah has no proper definition. There are those who say that it's part of the melody of the liturgy. There are those who say that Selah is give pause and concentrate. There are those who say that Selah, anyway, it has no official definition and meaning. It has no official definition. It's a difference of opinion on what it means. Rabbi Nachman speaks of wisdom as the path. Yes, Yosef Israel. But he also said that his path, right, is an old new path, derech yeshana chadasha. So what you're saying is you currently do not support a two-state solution. I mean, I do in the sense that I support the fact that there are people here who are innocent on both sides, and they deserve to live in dignity, and they deserve to live in peace and prosperity. But there is no making peace with terrorists. They're not interested in peace. They're not interested in prosperity. They're not interested in having a state of their own. They're simply interested in Israel not being a state. And you cannot make peace with such a partner, and you cannot make any actual progress with such a partner. Do you support Narendra Modi? I don't know who that is. Sorry, man. Parvez says, I heard a man say, keep the top 10 Jewish rich people separate and you will see there will be no wars. Is this true? No, that is false. Wars have always been fought by tribes, groups, sects, civilizations, empires, leaders, always and ever. Now, war won't last. We will have peace eventually, but that is not true. I don't know how that could be true. Sad Trump pulled the trigger, says Josh. What do you mean? Mark Huey, how you doing? Shalom, shalom. Hello, Lev. How you doing? India's prime minister. So do I support him? I have no idea. I know that he's been here before, and I know that the politicians consider him to be a good friend of Israel. I know that India and Israel have a good relationship. But as for him as a person or a leader, no idea. No idea at all. What's your opinion on Israeli citizens mocking dead and injured people on TikTok with face paint and such? I have no idea. I've never watched any of those videos. I have no idea what you're talking about. Israeli citizens mocking dead and injured people? Is this a thing? Is this a trend? People in the chat, have you heard of this? Because I have no idea. Wars will only end when all the nations accept the truth of the Torah. You could say that. I would say it's accept their own humanity, right? I would think it's when people are able to look past their differences, when people are able to look into what makes them come together as opposed to keeps them separate. Parvez says, yeah, I saw those videos. So give me more information on those videos. Who exactly are they mocking? And is this indeed a trend, or is it just like a niche that one or two people are part of and they are the ones producing all these videos? Hey, Cheeseburger, you have the car? What car? I'm not doing the JFK assassination parade because it's distasteful. Okay. If you say so. Bro, are you opposing genocide? Where there is genocide, I oppose it, yes. Who is this? Thrash? Hi, Thrash. I mean, there are different things going on right now. There's no genocide going on in Israel. Cartoonish unibrows and moles, fake blood. Okay, so what does this have to do with dead or injured people? Biggest Jeffrey, how many drugs have you done? You look crazy. I look crazy. See, here's something I don't get. What is it about me that looks crazy? Or maybe, Biggest Jeffrey, it's simply me not aligning with whatever appearance you perceive to be aesthetically pleasing. What is it about me that looks crazy? And have I done anything crazy? Big text, fart for the boys. Exactly, what does it even mean that I look crazy? Precisely. Hey, Kimberly is here, how you doing? You do crazy things every once in a while. Yes, I do crazy things every once in a while. I look crazy just here right now because that person I don't think has ever been on the live stream before. I am crazy. Yes, indeed. We're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. Add a Q&A sticker, YouTube is telling me. Something you can't live without. All right? What is something you can't live without, people? Shout it out in the chat. Something you can't live without. Fazil, are you gay? Yes, I am. I'm gay, I'm bi, I'm straight, I'm trans, I'm a two-spirit guitar, and I identify as a lavalier mic. Rayman says, weed. What about weed? I have played Havana Gila, only not now. I don't think you're crazier than any other people. I do think just as all people struggle with seeing the monster in your house is harder than the one the next door, says Thomas. Yeah, also people like to aggrandize themselves by tearing other people down. How long have you been playing guitar? On and off since I'm 18? More off than on. More off than on. You don't look crazy. Never mind what the others think. We're made by God. Yes, oh, I agree, Anna. I definitely agree. But sometimes I do look crazy, and but right now, I don't really look or feel too crazy. Is there meth in Israel? Likely, but I've never come across it. So I have no idea. Oh, wait, chat just jumped. Okay. Hector, I respect you as you're not afraid to be yourself. Better to be at peace with yourself and have the world hate you than be at peace with the world but at war with yourself. Oh, I don't agree. Have you been to India? No, I have not, Rachum V'Chanun, though many people think because of the dreads and because of the look that I have been, but I've never been to India. No. Biggest says, calm down, seething Jew. Really, I'm seething? You seem to be seeing a lot more than what's going on here, Jeffrey. Look like a hippie, that's all drug-induced maybe? No, I looked like a hippie way before I experimented or explored with any sort of mind-altering substances. Something I can't live without. Cheese, says Stone Smurf. Hey, Smurf, good to see you. All forms of cheese, sorry to you and your fellow vegans. That's all well and good. I know that cheese is the number one thing, as far as I know, that stops vegetarians from going vegan. Cheese. Because it's so awesome, and it's so good, and there are so many different types of cheese. It's so versatile. You can use it in so many ways. Hey, Craig. No, I don't think I'll be playing anything specifically fun right now. But I do love Simon and Garfunkel. All right, brother, and I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, no. Hold on. Thomas says, I'm off, though I don't support your overall political stances. I have no political stances. I'm not into politics, but okay. I appreciate the level-headedness you have with the conversation. Stay safe. You too, man. Be well. Is stream lagging or am I? I'm not sure. It doesn't look like I'm lagging. You spelled my name correctly, brother. If you want, says Fazil, the truth about Islam and Unseen World, watch Sheikh Abdirraul Ben Halima. No, I'm not going to do that right now. Lagging hard. Is it really? Hold on a second. Let's see. Well, I've got the 4G. It seems to be fine. I don't know what to tell you. Stream is lagging. Not over here, of course, because over here it's me broadcasting and you're the receivers. Do you know Tennessee whiskey? Yes, I do. The song, not the whiskey brand. Yes, I do know both. Smells like tobacco. What smells like tobacco? David says, still want to know what the Noahide laws on a base level. I want to know what is the bottom line. The bottom line is that those who are the proponents of the Noahide laws say that these are binding for non-Jews to follow and adhere to, and that is what puts them under the category of righteous Gentile. Those who are disagreeing with this and say that now it's not binding. The Noahide laws are not binding. There's a difference of opinion among halachic scholars and sages and rulers on whether or not the 7 Noahide laws are indeed binding. And I know that Chabad, for instance, are pushing the 7 Noahide laws very, very much, but others would say no, based on other verses and different things that exist in the prophets and the writings and in the Torah itself, actually. When Moses tells the people of Israel, don't worship the stars, don't worship the moon, don't worship any creation, these are things which Adonai has given to the rest of the nations as deities. You have a different path. Ergo, there were people there who were non-Jews at the time who were not keeping the Noahide laws, nor were they expected to do so. So it really does depend. It really, really does depend. The bottom line is that the Noahide laws were seen, if I'm not mistaken, as a way for all Gentiles to rally around the banner of the one Hebrew God, keeping these specific laws and regulations or rules, but not having to adhere to the 613 commandments of the Torah because they're not Jews. I think that's the bottom line. Chachum the Chanun says, what do you think is their idolatry in the Torah of Rabbi Nachman or in the whole righteous part of the trip to Uman? I don't know. I've never been to Uman. I know that, didn't he say, Hamakom sheli hu rak Eretz Yisrael? My place is only the land of Israel. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Uman in the same way, I suppose, that I have mixed feelings about the Wailing Wall, right? Kotel Ma'aravi. There's benefits there, sure, but there's also dangers. So it goes on a case-by-case basis, and I don't have a specific opinion. I have mixed feelings about it, let's say. But look, Rabbi Nachman made a promise, right? Whoever will come to my tziyun, right, to my grave, and will give a little bit of money to charity, and say the Tikkun HaKlali, right, say the 10 chapters of Psalms that he discovered, the sequence, that is, that he discovered, a unique sequence called the general adorning or repairment, the Tikkun HaKlali, right? I will take him by his tassel, by his fringes, right? I will take him by his side locks and pull him out of Gehinam. Now, I'm not a Chassid Breslev, so I can't tell you. I really, really can't tell you. I know that there are people who have found great relief and great benefit. There are people to whom that's been a detriment. And I don't know. I simply don't know what to tell you. Since I've never been. So I can't really give you my opinion. A poor Jew? What the fuck are you for real? Says Kieran George. Hi, Kieran George. I'm a poor Jew? I mean, I have my own riches. So I'm not poor. No, not. It says Ein ani ela bedat, right? There is no poverty but in knowledge. No, I don't listen to Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, nor do I follow him, but I've been asked about him many, many a times. I mean, he's an Orthodox rabbi, so presumably there are things that I will be on the same page with him and things that I won't be. I think would need to learn Hebrew, but that would be very useful. It organizes the mind. I think any language that you learn can help to organize your mind because it's a different way of thinking, quite literally. Seems to do. Maybe. Possibly, I don't know. If your mother is Jewish, says Yosef, you are born Jewish, but we accept sincere members. Yes, that is true. That very much. The blood of the mother is very important. That's pretty cool. Yes, Vili, but we also have, right, there's also conversion. Yes, I have a pic right here, Oscar. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just strumming right now, really. Can you give us the lowdown on the settlers' situation? No, I can't, Stone Smurf, because I'm not part of that. I don't listen to the news. I'm not in that region. Seems pretty violent, but in the media, it can be painting it bad light as usual. What's actually happening? I don't know. There is violence for sure on both sides. But I think the ones perpetrating the violence in these disputed areas and zones or outposts, I think that they are a very vocal minority, or a very violent minority. So it's by the news. That's I don't know. I really don't know. Hey Troy the King, how you doing? Hello XX. I beg you to moderate your chat. Yes, you want free speech, but we are dealing with heckler's veto when they spam over us till you respond to them. I don't know, man, because if I start down that road, I don't think so. I don't think I do appreciate it. Do you fart daily? Yes, I do. You need to invest in a Marshall amp and a Fender idea. No, Kieran, I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future, who knows? Hector says, what would you say is the cause to so much anti-Semitism historically? Jew hatred is something that's always existed. The reasons are many and varied. So there's no specific cause. It's just something that has always existed. Hello, Hairwolf. How you doing? Do you believe Islam is the truth? I don't know. What is the truth? Yes, I am Jewish. No. This won't stay in tune. I mean, it's a cheap guitar and new strings, but it should still stay a little bit in tune. Try a Gender Stratocaster instead. Or a Squire. Maybe I'll get a Squire sometime. How do you know if you're extraterrestrial? Does the government know, and will they confirm I am, please? I don't know, Sarah. I really don't know what to tell you. Maybe. Why Jewish can't eat pork? Because there are clean animals to eat and unclean animals that we are not allowed to eat. And it has to do with what the pork represents, right? It has to do with the idea that it, for instance, does not chew its cud and has no internal multiple digestion, as it were. Do you have dreads? Yes, I do. Anna Kelly, natural dreadlocks. Redacted says, but my friends, we all live in this world together. Religion, race, and money is a separation of people, and that is not God's will. No, it wasn't the intent to begin with, right? Consider Eden. In Eden, there was no religion. In Eden, there was no race. In Eden, there was no money. So if we make some sort of an attempt to pull down those Edenic elements into this creation, simultaneously trying to elevate ourselves, our mind, our body, we'll be able to get to a better place. If we keep on moving, we'll be able to get to a better place. Bacon is so good. So I've heard. I've heard bacon is very good. I've never had it. Too much wine, says Josh. I haven't had that in over 16 years. Haven't had grapes in over 16 years. All major religions are anthropomorphized solar worship. Is we are there? Can he help you? Ask him. Okay, and what happened? So you just need to wait. There's nothing you can do about it. You just need to wait. Try turning the router off and on. So I don't believe that all major religions are simply anthropomorphized solar worship. Cool. I don't think that's true at all. I can't speak for any other faiths or religions, but I know that in the Torah, sun worship is strictly prohibited and forbidden. XX, can you eat turkey bacon? Yes, you're allowed to eat turkey bacon, though I don't. No wine or grapes for 16 years. Why? Mind telling? Because I'm a Nazarite. Jesus is Christ, God, Son, Savior. Nazarites abstain from any grape-related products. And I took my vow just over 16 years ago, which means that I haven't had wine or grapes in 16 years. Oscar says, I've had a very strong feeling for the last 2 years that something is coming. That feeling has gotten stronger lately. I've learned to trust my instincts. Indeed. Trusting your instincts is good. You want to hone your instincts and be the type of person who can rely on them. Because sometimes the gut feelings, the instincts are wrong. Tasty and trippy, said Josh. Turkey bacon is an abomination. Yeah, never had that either. Never had that either. Do you know how to play Lot of Love? No, but I probably could do a bad version of it. You can't butt in 2 strips? Not what you mean. Oh, okay. Pig is the closest for organ exchange with humans. Yes, that's true. The internal organs. Therefore, the closest canon of everything in Judaism has a moral statement behind it. It's true that everything in Judaism does have that sort of element to it, or at least the potential, the capacity to be understood in that regard. Who is the angel of the Lord spoken of in the Bible? He appeared to Moses in the burning bush. There have been many angels. Angels are messengers, Hector. Hector? Or is it just Hecht? Angels are messengers. That's all they are. Now, they are attributed to certain divine revelations and emanations in the Kabbalistic tree of life, in the 10 Sfirot. Depending on their name, right, their name bespeaks a certain job, a certain task, and a certain attribute with which they are associated. So who is the angel of the Lord? It depends on the angel in question. It depends on the circumstances. Right? But everything we know is revelations of God. Jamie says, have you checked Australia giant flying winged phoenix taking out dragon on satellite map? No, I have not. Is that something that's going around now? No, I have not seen that. I have not checked that out. What color is you, says Fazil. Boo up, poop. What color is my poop, or what color is me? I mean, I guess you could guess both, really. We are not brothers and sisters of one God. What do you mean? Hey, Rob Truth, what are you confused about? What are your predictions for 5 to 10 years from now on what? And what specifically? I just usually rotate, says Herwolf, between beef and chicken. Lamb chops are the best. I never had lamb chops. Hey, Jay is here. You're awake. Hello, I was just responding to your old short on grapes. And voila, here you are. Amazing divine intervention. Well, I don't know how much divine intervention it is. I'm on a lot. Thanks, Thrash. Tara, not Tara. Tarasha? Tara? Hello. Hey, Smoochie. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Thanks for participating in the chat, good people. If you are God's chosen people, why did he forbid them from the best food, bacon? So once again, I don't go with that chosen rhetoric. But I've said this before, people have likened it to 2 people, one of them who is detrimentally and mortally ill and is about to die, and the other one that may make it if he makes some changes to his or her life. So the doctors, the one who's terminally ill, they can eat whatever they want, it's all good. The one who, and I mean this only allegorically, right, metaphorically, not to say that Gentiles are terminally ill, but just as an illustration on why the Jews keep certain dietary restrictions. The Torah says you need to pick and choose what you eat. There are certain things that will agree with you and other things that won't agree with you, spiritually speaking. The other nations, they don't have these restrictions, at least not according to Torah. They can have their own restrictions in their own laws and books and whatnot, of course. But the Hebrews have their dietary restrictions because the body and mind connection, right? The spirit and the body has to be nourished in order to be acting out the commandments and performing them. And that means that in order to have the best sort of unity, in order for the body to be at its best, you need to nourish it with the right sort of fuel. And so the kashrut, right, the dietary laws are there to discern for the Hebrew people between what is beneficial and non-beneficial, what is clean and unclean. This does not mean necessarily nutritious or less nutritious, tasty or less tasty. It means that since we are walking on a tightrope here in this world, we need to be able to keep our balance. And part of the dietary laws, and you are what you eat, it has to do with that. And that is partly how we keep our balance. Hang on, my woman texted me. I'll have to tell her to send a message. Hang on a second. Hold on. Okay. Going back. Down. David says, waste of a good human. If you say so. Seth says, have you got a douche canoe? Yes, I do. Right here. That's my douche canoe. Prediction of world situation or geopolitically for the next 5 years? No, not at all. Not at all. No idea. Jay says, I can see fruit on the tree of nourishment. Did you grow it from seed? No, it was here when we moved in. We have a lemon tree and a pomegranate tree growing side by side. David says it's not all about you. Yes, oh no, I understood that it was probably someone that you were talking to in the chat, because you usually wouldn't say that. I would predict Judaism will keep leading in percentage terms in conversion. Yosef Israel, you think that Judaism is leading in percentage terms in conversion? I doubt that's true. I highly, sincerely doubt it. It's not all about me, that's true. Do Pokemon have Hebrew names? I think it's the same names. Pretty sure it's the same names. I have no religion, says Redacted. Everything we are all one. Religion is a separation of people. I mean, there is that facet to it, but it's only temporary. Right? We're all going back to the same root. But I don't know how much, I don't know how it will come. I don't know how it will actually manifest itself. Do you have any opinions, asked Bob McDermott, about the settlers in the West Bank and the Hilltop Youth Movement as they have been named there? Opinions? I mean, if they are legal settlers, more power to them. They should not be violent, but if it's a legal settlement, more power to them. If it's illegal, they should give it back. And as for the Hilltop Youth, the No'ar HaGvaot, I don't know enough about them. I do know that being a vigilante is not a good thing. And if you're going to be a vigilante, then at least be so against as a retaliatory thing at the maximum, right? But from what I've gathered, some people simply, like unprovoked, go and wreak havoc and maim animals, burn, uproot trees, burn, and I don't know what. I really don't know what. I don't watch enough news to actually have a proper, well-rounded opinion on what's going on. Jews have a lot of Italian DNA, says Dia. Well, what do you mean? A lot of Jews are not even close to being in Europe, so I'm not sure what you mean. Both sides need deadline, says Josh Duke. What kind of deadline? Chum says, what do you think about the wise and holy prophet Muhammad? I have no idea. I've never learned, I've never read or learned the Quran or the Hadith or the other teachings of Muhammad, so I have no idea. Once there is some peace in this region and de-radicalization and, dare I say, maybe even prosperity and love, then I'll dive into the Quran and the Hadith and the teachings of Muhammad. Until then, no. Smoochie says, you mentioned illegal as being a deciding factor, but I feel like it would also push back against laws sometimes in places. Yeah, I would. For instance, the times when somebody is occupying something illegally and then the law is passed to make it legal. I've mentioned this many times. Maybe it changes on a case-by-case basis, but just at face value, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right to take over something illegally and then pass the law to make it. I really don't. It doesn't sound right to me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong. I thought Gentiles could be saved. If Christ is false, our hope is lost. What's up? Oh, hello. I can't fix it. You need to wait. I can't fix it. Sorry, you'll have to wait, my dear. Did you turn the is Uya there? Did he turn the router on and off? You can't get what? What do you think about the righteous Rabbi Pelim, our Lord, and Rabbi Idi Amin from Uganda? Well, Idi Amin has been dead for a long time, hasn't he? What do you think of Rabbi Shmuley, says Stone Smurf? Seen an interview recently, seems a pretty angry guy. Yeah, I mean, he is a debater. How do you become a rabbi? Is there a certain criteria you need? Yes, if you want to be an Orthodox rabbi, you need to take a test on a large number of halachic categories and pass the test. There are different levels of rabbiship. The most basic one is called Yore. And you need to pass a test on marital laws, on Shabbat, on purity and impurity and kashrut of food, and a couple of others. Mikveh as well. So yeah, the laws of family purity. Maybe there's one other one. So yeah. Real Nice says, Jews are not an ethnic group. People seem to not get this. Love y'all. Thanks, man. Yeah, people have different opinions on whether or not Jews are this and Jews are that. People will say whatever they want. You know, it's all good. It's all good. The power of Nintendo compels you. Yes, indeed. I had a Game Boy in my youth. That's Nintendo. I didn't have any console or handheld there. But yes, the power of Nintendo does compel. Hey, Troiki, things are going well. Is there a chief rabbi? Yes, there's an Ashkenazi chief rabbi and a Sephardi chief rabbi. And I think that's, I mean, today, by the way, is the Yahrzeit of Rav Kook, Avraham Yitzchak Cohen Kook, who was the first chief rabbi in Israel, who died in the early 20th century. Redacted says, religion was invented to keep us divided. No, I disagree, though that is a byproduct for sure. It's easy for the elites to rule while we fight each other. Right, there is that element to it, and especially to like modern day organized religion, although maybe it was that way since time immemorial. But I do think that that's not the point of religion, even though it is definitely a byproduct. I've spoken of this many times. Despite the drawbacks, despite the detriments, despite the opiate for the masses, domination, controlling, corruption, despite all that, I feel religion has a root of grace to it, and of, and I'm making a very broad generalization here about religion. But yeah, you got to take the good with the bad. Playing Game Boy in the car always made me sick. I ended up not liking the Game Boy. A lot of sharp corners. Oh well, then you should have played not in the car. Fuel says, isn't Islam, Christianity, Judaism from the same Abrahamic origins? So they say, yes. They say that Ishmael relates to Islam, and Jacob relates to Israel, and Esau relates to Christianity. That's the traditional understanding. Saran says, do people get triggered when they hear Jews are chosen, not understanding God loves them too? Don't know, broad strokes understanding what it is. And yeah, people get butthurt over everything. Now, if you have a Jew who is a supremacist, racist, bigot, self-aggrandizing, condescending person who says that I am a Jew and you're all beneath me, no, that's no good. But if you want to say the Jews were selected to keep a certain thing, like the Torah and the commandments, and to carry the covenant of the Hebrews forward, with that I'll say, yes, this is true. It doesn't make you better than anyone else. It simply makes you somebody who clings to the Torah and the commandments. A prophet, says Herwolf, is someone who directly speaks to God. Well, it's not directly, actually. It's through what's called an aspaklaria, which is Aramaic for mirror or window. Traditionally, Esau is Christianity because they say that Esau is Edom, right? Edom is Rome, and Rome is symbolizing Christianity. In that sense, they think, some people believe that Esau and Christianity correspond, right? That the Jews and Christians are brothers and they will eventually embrace, but right now there's a lot of sibling rivalry. So that's how people say Esau relates to Christianity, via Rome. However, this is disputed and it's not binding halachically to believe this. As for an actual connection, because Jesus was a Jew traditionally, according to Christians, he was a Jew, and there's your connection to the Abrahamic faith. The Jews now, says Kami Zila, aren't the real Jews. Do your research. Oh, I think I've done plenty of research, and I think that you are mistaken. I don't go for the real Jew, fake Jew business. I think it's asinine, truly. And I don't know what research you've been doing, Kamizela, but the Jews now are definitely part of the tribes of Israel, as they were real in the past. They are also as real now. The Jews are the remnants of the kingdom of Judah. Maybe you only consider, who do you consider to be real Jews? And what does it mean to be a real Jew to you? I'd love to know. I've always seen it, says Real Nye, as the Jews carry the old order. And the Christians carry the new order of Jesus, who was predicted to come. Yes, the thing is, what tribe am I, Kami? I'm from the tribe of Levi, traditionally. The thing is that Christianity does have its roots in the Hebrew faith, but they consider, some of them anyway, they consider the Torah to be null and void. They consider it already to be fulfilled. Whereas I'm saying, okay, not for the Jews, not for the Hebrews, not for the tribes of Israel, it isn't. For other nations, if they want to consider it fulfilled and go and do their own thing, by all means, I'm not gatekeeping. But if you're going to come to the Hebrew people and say that your covenant is done, we point to the Torah and say, no, it ain't. It says it right there. Even when the Hebrews break the covenant is still unbroken. Meaning we can always go back to it. And we always do go back to it. Kami says, the new Jews that are taking over are Zionist and they're using Jewish religion for their gains. That is also false, because there's no taking over. There's simply going back to our ancestral home. So for somebody who told me to do research, you seem to be lacking in some key aspects. scrolling down. Too cheap to buy soap? Yes, that's right, M60. I've never bathed or showered in my life. I've never used soap. And you can smell me miles away. Still got Lucy. How you smile as you exploit loopholes, says Dia. What loopholes am I exploiting? I'd love to know. What are you talking about? Stolen land, says Rolling Stoner. I disagree. Jews have been maintaining their presence unbroken in this land for over 3,000 years. So it's not stolen. You cannot be a thief in your own ancestral home. Now, what you can do, as I've said, there are certain settlements that are being occupied illegally. There are certain settlements that are being established illegally. Those should be disbanded. Remember, the land was pretty occupied by Canaan. Yes, but Canaan is the sons of Ham. The sons of Ham did not receive this as their inheritance. The sons of Ham traditionally received the African continent as their inheritance, like the people of Cush. This guy isn't stoned, I'm blue. Well, car rules. I guess you're blue, because I'm not stoned. We don't need soap, says Tenebris. We shower with our Jewish space lasers. Yeah, that's right, Tenebris. You know what's up. Yeah. What about Levi? What about Melchizedek? What about him? Melchizedek Melech Shalem, the king of Shalem, a priest, Te'el Elyon. What about him? Aussie King says, land isn't stolen, it's called conquered. Yes, we conquered it from the 7 nations of Canaan about 3,600 years ago or so, something like that. And we've maintained a presence there ever since. Do you believe in black magic? Or is there a true story based on your experience? I believe in, I don't know if to call it magic. I believe that there are dark forces that you could employ in order, right, for them to do your bidding. I believe there is such a thing, right? Mankind was given dominion over all creation, physical and spiritual alike. Meaning if you have the technical aspects down, you know what to do and how to do it, what names to invoke and what names to ponder, what names to speak, and how to breathe, and where to turn, and the entire ritual, you would be able to invoke certain angels or demons to do your bidding. That does not necessarily mean that you will come away unscathed. If you want to call it black magic, go for it. I don't call it black magic. Yeah. Hey, fish cake. Hi. Hi, Captain Fishcake. How you doing? AA is here. I hope you're doing great. And you. I really hope you're doing great. Nice to have you here. What do you think, says Jesus is Christ? What do you think the most interesting verse in the Tanakh where you can only understand if you know Hebrew? Only understand? There are different interpretations and translations. I go with the first one, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. That's what I go with. The first one. The first one is usually translated as in the beginning, but the actual Hebrew is in the beginning of. What do I call it? Just magic? No, I call it dealing with the dark side. Real Nice says they are definitely not satanic, just like the Freemasons groups have corrupted over time. The priest could come Melchizedek. Yes, there are Christians who say that there's this entire priesthood and an order of Melchizedek, but there is no such tradition in the Hebrew faith. Hey Mira, how you doing? I do. Riz, how you doing? Israel has taken over the U.S. and allied countries have been making moves in the shadows. Well, I don't deny that there's a very good chance Israel makes many moves in many shadows. But to say that Israel took over the U.S., I don't see how that makes any sense whatsoever. The U.S. is recognized as the world's leading superpower. And if you're claiming that that Israel controls the U.S., or what did you say, taken over, that would make Israel the world's leading superpower in the shadows. Is that actually what you think? You think that we are the puppet masters of the entire world? Side chick form, your god is Yaldabaoth. Yes, I've heard this. I don't think that's true in the least. I think that it might be true in a pantheon, right? A polytheistic pantheon of deities. But if you're a Hebrew man or woman worshipping the one Hebrew God, then you're mistaken. While it might have its origins in these battles between the gods in the Canaanite, in the times of Canaan, nowadays that's really not the way that it goes. And my God is Yaldabaoth, or however you pronounce it. But feel free to say whatever you want to say. Mark says you have very kind eyes. Wait, wouldn't pomegranate and lemon trees side by side be like Jewish temple and Islamic mosque? Says Jay, being side by side. Is that peace and harmony and fruit, or a fruit land grab? It's whatever you want it to be. Wait a minute, there's aliens and Hebrew religion, says Karul. I'm thinking, yeah, but who knows? Tune the guitar. A bit better, at least until it goes out of tune. Plant lives matter detected. Nazarites in the United States from Ephraim, says Remnants. Really? Because as far as I know, most of the Jews are remnants of the kingdom of Judah, which means if it's Ephraim, it means that they would be from the 10 lost tribes. Are there groups of Nazarites in the United States that claim affiliation to the tribe of Ephraim and to the house of Joseph? That's curious. Stone Smurf, what's your all-time favorite vegan meal? I mean, again, falafel. That's it. Falafel in a eshtanul, right? In a lafa, in a Arabic tortilla, if you will. That's my all-time favorite thing. It's got a protein, or just about a complete protein. If not a complete protein, just about. And with all of the veggies and all of the sauces and things, it forms a really nutritious and healthy. Redacted says, open up your conscious mind, brother, and you will see the truth. Well, bold of you to assume that I have a mind. As for opening it up, I do make an effort. Yes, I do. Mission says, I feel I'm asking respectful questions, but he pays more attention to the trolls. All right, Mission says, let's see, scroll up. Or, he said, okay, I know what that means. I've noticed in Book of Genesis to present day God likes to set up conflict. Okay, first of all, if relation of God, how do you see that setting up conflict? Bold of you to assume you don't have a mind. Fayaz, with Kabbalah be subdued? Amen. Not sure what you mean. last time Jews did Korban in the temple? About 2,000 years ago. Blop Jones, how you doing, Blop? Nice name. I started doing tamales as a snack filling, so I don't think I've ever had a tamale. You're doing well. That's great, Blop. Hairwolf, as an atheist, when you see these film glitches, what goes through your mind? I'm not sure. I'm not an atheist, so I have no idea what you're talking about. What filmed glitches? The audio glitched when you touched your phone. Okay. Weird question, Stone Smurf says. Where do Israelites go on holiday? In the UK, most popular destinations are probably Spain or the Balearic Islands. People go to the Far East. People go to Thailand. People go to South America on holiday. People go to Greece. People go locally here in Israel. But I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Do you think Israel will ever build a third temple? Yes, likely. Likely. May it be a vegan house of love and prayer and worship for all earthlings. May it be so. Though I'm of the opinion that we don't need to have the temple. It's not a prerequisite. But yeah, many people are indeed waiting for the third temple. And there's a lot, right? So, but it's a means to an end, right? The temple is a means to an end. So remember, in Eden, there was no temple. In Eden, there was no ritual worship. In Eden, there was no animal sacrifices. What goes through your mind? Oh, I'm sorry, wait, just jump a second. What goes through your mind when you see these recorded moments back in time, says Herwolf? Well, I don't usually revisit my old live streams, but occasionally, I did recently at the behest of my therapist at the time, a couple of months ago. I watched one or two of my live streams, just, objectively, to get a sense of myself, because this is not a persona, right? This is actually me over here, not live, right, raw. So I did that, but what goes through my mind? What goes through my mind usually is, okay, got some stuff to work on, but altogether, okay, this is a pretty accurate representation of me as a person, as much as can be conveyed digitally. It will never end, says Redacted, until we all learn to respect each other and treat others how we would like to be. Yes, I agree. Michael says, if you're intelligent, you can get along with anyone. Just about. I suppose it takes more than intelligence, but yeah, there's something to that. If you're humble, I would say. If you're humble, you can get along with anyone. Of course, there are those who would want to kill me no matter what. The ultimate Korban is done 2,000 years ago. So, Rob Truth, I'm assuming you're a Christian and a Jesus follower. I don't see Jesus as being any kind of a sacrifice at all. Yes, I do love focaccia. I love focaccia. I love it with tahina and eggplant. It's one of the best things ever. With a burned eggplant, a lot of tahina and some and lemon or lemon juice. I mean, a lot of good stuff. Wait, hang on. Yeah. Here we go. Yes, I figured you're a Christian. Love is all you need. Yep. Maybe a little bit more, but yeah. Are you Talmudic Zionist? Well, SMA, I am a biblical Zionist and there is a bit of a weak signal. I'm a biblical Zionist and a modern day Zionist. Even earthlings implies you see potential non-earthly people as not your people. Well, they're not people then, are they? Or earthlings. So yes, that is true. How do I define a Zionist? Hot dogs on fire? It's somebody who wishes for the people of Zion to return to Zion. That is a Zionist. Ruby Word is here. Yosef is here. Aaron is here. Hello, hello. Well, then Jews are not humble because they can't get along with anyone. Okay, if you say so. I never claimed Jews are humble. All I said was that humility can help you get along with a lot of people. Shavua Tov, time for slichot, anenu. Anenu bizchotei. No, it's not a ha, it's a ch. Bizchotei devar yochai, anenu. Yeah, I love the Edot HaMizrach slichot. The Ashkenazi one is a little less musical. But I love the Sfaradim be'Edot HaMizrach. They have great slichot. I mean, yeah, so do the Ashkenazis. Hey, Skinny Tubs. Respect and love. Back at you, Yosef. Right back at you. All right, Ruby Word. Ya Shema Evyonecha Amhalim Panecha Avinu Levanecha Al Ta'alem Ozanecha Ya Shema Evyonecha. Neva's here. Charlie is here. West Bank was Israel until Jordan annexed it. Yes, it's true. They did. And bro, what do you think of the illegal settlers stealing land? That they are illegal. Keep praising and have a great day. And you. And you. Does he play metal guitar? I think it's made of wood. Yes, Jay, it's correct. Crazy, says Stone Smurf. There's animosity between religions. When you look back, we're all following the same God. We just go different ways. God ain't stupid. He knows who's looking for him with the right heart. Yeah, but still there's so much division, so much bloodshed, so much terrorism and war. It's pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Hey, what's up, Spacer Jace? How you doing? You don't like acoustic? I'm fine with the acoustic, but classical has always been my go-to. Bro, you claim that you are God's chosen people. No, I've never claimed that ever. So you're mistaken about that. I don't go with that chosen people stuff. Right now, why do you guys terrorize people? I think you have it the other way around, SMA. I'm pretty sure if you actually do some research, you'll find that Israel has extended its hand and its land for peace many times, only to be stabbed in the back by actual terrorist organizations. So don't be a terrorist slop sympathizer, actually do some proper research. Choco is here, how you doing? Sorry, we are all chosen, that's why we are here, says Sario. Yes, exactly, humanity, right? Humanity is here, earthlings are here. That's what you stand by? Really, that's what I stand by? I don't think so. My opinion on the Zohar. Well, the Zohar has many ways, many different interpretations and ways to understand it. My opinion on the Zohar, it's one of the foundational books of Kabbalah. Have I read it? I've read parts of it. I've been studying Kabbalah ever since I'm 16. So, yeah. I read straight up Zohar. I usually read commentary. And my go-to is Pardes Rimonim. Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. Bro, for real, you're very smart. Thank you. I don't feel the same way, but thank you. We'd be great friends. Hey, just maybe. Just maybe. Tony says, follow the Torah, not Talmud. Well, what do you mean? You have the oral traditions and you have the written Torah. Problem is that the oral traditions were never meant to be written down. And they were. That's kind of a problem. What are you going to do? On the other hand, right, the Karaite Jews who follow written Torah, not the Talmud, are actually Jews. Hey, user, the stream is about faith, spirituality, religion, self-development, or whatever it is you want to throw out in the chat. So if you want to discuss something, user TI2, please do so. What do you want to talk about this fine morning or afternoon? Would Israel survive without American tax dollars? I think so, Digger, but I don't know for sure. The Talmud is the Talmud was compiled. I mean, it's basically the commentary on the Mishnah. It was compiled and canonized a few hundred years after the destruction of the Second Temple, and it is a commentary on the Mishnah, which is the oral law that was written down after the destruction of the Second Temple. Am I Israeli? Yes, I am. Honging rebel. Israel is in apartheid, says Alex. No, it is not. Most definitely not. There are just about 2 million Muslim and Christian Arabs in Israel with equal rights in all levels of society. How is that apartheid? Could any Gentile become a Jew? Yes. The only ones who are not allowed are men from Moab and Ammon. And since we do not know who those nations are these days, anybody who's anybody can convert. What's the main export of Israel? Is it fruit? I think it's weapons. Isn't it weapons? Isn't that the main export? Why it is a problem if the oral traditions were written down? Because they were meant to remain oral, Stone Smurf. If it's written, surely that's more definitive and can be changed or altered. Exactly. And oral tradition was meant to be changed. It was meant to be altered. It was meant to evolve and progress. The one that was supposed to be unshaken and immovable is the written Torah. And so they did the unthinkable. The oral was supposed to remain oral, and the written was supposed to remain written. And the problem is that the oral traditions were written down because it was the lesser of the two evils, right? Either we write it down, or it might all be forgotten completely. So they did what could not have been done, or what they did not desire to do, and they wrote it down. And that has brought with it a lot of trouble, right? Because after the destruction of the Second Temple, the Jewish faith, the rabbinic Jewish faith, went into survival mode. And part of how you survive is that you trim away and you keep the bare essentials, as it were. And the 4 cubits of halacha, dalit amot shel halacha, as it's known, was part of this survival mode paradigm. Stephen says, I heard a rabbi say, in other words, that free will is a delusion. Yes, no, it is all planned and known. Yes, both of those things happen at the same time. I'm very much a fan of the multiplex analogy of, right, you have an infinite amount of movie theaters that you could choose from. Once you sit down in a specific theater and the movie starts rolling, you can't control what movie is playing on the screen. But what you can do at any given moment is get up and say, I'm going to go somewhere else. So you have choice and free will, and you don't have choice and you don't have free will. It all depends on how you look at it. You can choose where to orient yourself. You can choose what to do with your life. You can't necessarily choose, and there are deterministic factors based on what you do of your own free will. B'nai Menashe, what about them? How do know that the Torah is true and the Word of God uncorrupted? I never said that it is. You're assuming all kinds of things about me that I did not say. There's something I agree with you on, but man, there's thousands of religions and you're a smart guy. How does it not make you want to drop the labels and just use the non-religious language? Because it will come to that eventually, probably, likely. But for now, For now, I believe that I still have a lot of work to do on myself within the framework of the Torah and the commandments and the Hebrew covenant. And if it should come to pass in my life that I get the call to drop all the labels, all of them, just like I dropped others, to drop everything and just be human, I dare say I might just go along with that. That's the Edenic thing. In Eden, there was no religion. In Eden, there were no labels. In Eden, see what I'm saying, right? There was no religious language. There was just language. And I would want to lead in an Edenic sort of life to the degree that you can in this post-Edenic world. So I just come to that. I have an idea. No, I don't play video games, Mirza. Have you ever gone on an esoteric reading tangent? What do you mean by esoteric reading tangent? I don't know what you actually, practically speaking. You're the type of person Israel needs as a prime minister. No, I stay away from politics like the plague, right? No, I stay away from it. I haven't voted in 20 years. You're cool, calm, collected, keep it up. Thanks, Blop, I appreciate that. How many of you perished in the Halobunga? I don't know what Halobunga is, so I don't know how many perished there. Are you a terrorist? Have you ever been part of an invasion? Honging rebel? I'm a rebel. Am I a terrorist? Some people might consider me a terrorist, that I don't think I've been part of any terrorist action. Have I ever been part of an invasion? Some people might consider me an invader, even though I have not been part of any particular invasion. So some people would say, yes, I know. Do you have a machine gun in the house? No, I do have license to carry a firearm, right, a pistol, but I don't, at least not yet, but I have the license to carry, and I can choose to go and exercise that right and carry out what it says on the license if I want. But right now I have a firearm. Billy Wood K. Are there more than one type of Jew? Why are the United Nations operators so damn evil? Why are they not kind like you? First of all, I try to be, but I have my moments of being unkind, that's for sure. As for, is there more than one type of Jew? Yes, there is. As for the United Nations, I have no idea why they do what they do, and I really can't. No idea. But he was saying that God knew you would get up before you did, said Stephen. So let's put it this way. There's room in the Hebrew faith for the predeterministic thing, and there's room for free will, and both of them coincide. Because when you say God knows, I don't think God knows anything, right? There's a divine attribute called da'at, right? A divine attribute, part of the tree of life, part of the Kabbalistic 10 Sfirot, called knowledge. When we say God knows, it's not like you or I knowing something, practically or allegorically or metaphorically. Because God has no brain, God has no intellect, God has no body, God has no corporeal form in the Hebrew faith. Meaning that knowing says something about consciousness. Knowledge means unity, like knowing a woman biblically. It means making a connection. But with the divine revelation, there's an emanation called da'at, knowledge. But that's not God. That's divine revelation. I don't know God. All I know is how God reveals himself to me. So when you say that God already knew you were going to get up, that means that there was a certain divine revelation of knowledge that has this all-encompassing view that could see all of the multiplexes at any given moment, at any given time. Nevertheless, there is something above, right? If we say that the attribute known as da'at, as knowledge, is over here on the tree of life, there's also an attribute called will, and that is above it. In other words, there is a point where God's knowledge, as a divine revelation, the will of the individual is above it. meaning that there's room for this and for that in the same paradigm. Dodge says YouTube wouldn't be possible without Muslims. Muslims invented algebra. Jews invented Tay-Sachs disease. Well, first of all, I don't think that Jews invented Tay-Sachs. I think that there are Ashkenazi Jews who might be more predisposed to it genetically. As for Muslims invented algebra, yes, Islam had its golden age. The Arab world had its golden age. May they have another one. May they have another one. May Islam and the Arab world have another golden age, another golden era. I think they did a lot at the time, though it's disputed on the things that they actually brought. Some people say it was just stolen and lifted from other people. I don't know, right? Boosted, right? But I don't know about that. I really don't. If you're going to algebra, I'll say, okay, hey, Celtic King. Arabs did not invent algebra. Well, Sivshur, he said Muslims. He didn't say Arabs. Algebra goes back further to ancient India. Maybe. Jorge says, look at him cripple in God's got him infection. What? I don't know what that means. Hey, Jamar, it's you again. Spacer J says, your audio keeps fast forwarding at certain points where you make points. Yet we're live with a delay. Does anyone else hear it? Maybe I should just change where the mic is. I mean, wait, let's see. Yes, I'm on 4G. I'm relatively close over here. So the Wi-Fi, if it ever comes back, should kick in, and that should be good as well. I'm not sure what you mean. Algebra was not invented by Muslims. It was Farsi. Yeah, exactly. People say that, things that are attributed to Islam, things that are attributed to Arabs were actually other nations, and they sort of took over and conquered them, right? The Great Arab Expansion, and that they made it seem as if they had these, but I honestly do not know. Combo says, do you believe there is an agenda on religion to have people separate and fight each other by stirring religious dogma? No, I don't. I believe that some religions might be more prone to that. But that's not the agenda, I think. I think the agenda eventually is to reach a point where the religion makes itself superfluous and unnecessary. Creme pie? Is it true your people can shapeshift? Yes. Yes, it is. Do you think world would be better if Iran had nukes? Blue Cheesy. To some degree, maybe, but I have no idea. Probably not. Probably not if Iran had nukes. No. I've never seen Jew people in real life, only TV and stuff. Judaism is really not a religion, says Paul Wang. Okay, what is it then? Is it not the religion of the Hebrew people or of the... They could keep Israel in check. Jay says, sometimes said you were an invader. You are an invader. You've invaded YouTube. I love your channel. We need a whole bunch more good people like you. Thank you, Jay. I really appreciate that, man. Cream Pie says it's your fault that you named my house today. Well, yeah, it is my fault. It's true. You have definitely seen Jews IRL. They don't wear a sign around their neck. Yes, that's also true. John Smith says, did you know Hebrews invented the Jews who invented the Arabs, who invented bagels with cream cheese and everything seasoning? I did not know that. Thank you for enlightening me. It's been an hour and a half. A quick aside to say thank you to those watching now, those watching later. Shout out to the replay crew. You know who you are. I deeply appreciate the likes and the subs and the views and the insults and the vitriol. the ones, encouraging and supporting, the ones who are trolling, the haters, the spammers, the Nazis. All of you are welcome here in the chat. And I appreciate your time and your kind attention and your engagement. It's a lot of fun. Whoops. Come on, man. Okay. Laser says, can you see me? I mean, I can see what you just said. But I can see you. I love bagels. I love bagels. Would you accept a meal from someone who is a Jew, even if you were literally starving? If I was literally starving, yes, I would, likely. Dog darn it. John Smith says, you seem like a decent, thoughtful fellow. I'm sorry you get hate. Hey, it's just part and parcel of being a Hebrew. I'm fine with it. It's much more than a religion. We are a people, a nation, and our job is to bring light to the world. Do you agree? I agree that we are here to keep the Torah and the commandments. We are a people. We are a nation. But the whole light unto the nations thing, I see that as something that is downstream from that are things that I don't like pride and vanity and arrogance, condescension, supremacy, bigotry, racism. So that whole light unto the nations thing, I just don't go with that kind of rhetoric. I understand those who do, and they have the verses to back it up, and that's all well and good. But I simply don't go with that sort of rhetoric. I don't. It doesn't align with who I am. Oh, hang on a second. Okay. Yes, I tried bagels. You're a calm man, gotta say that. Well, I have my moments. Do you think Israel, says Blue Cheese, will last longer? Yes, I do. Or like most people, do you see the supremacist state in the Middle East to die a death? No, I think Israel is going to be just fine. However, the Torah says if you don't keep the commandments, if you break the covenant, you'll be kicked out. It's happened before. It might happen again. There's no guarantees that just because we're here now that we will continue to be here. No guarantees whatsoever. We actually merit our place here. We need to earn our life here in the land of Israel. Australia never kicked out the Jews. Stop lying. You look like a clown. Something like that. At certain times when you're making your point, the audio glitches, sound like satellite connections when I've heard it before. Keeps happening when I want to hear the punchline. I have no idea. Should I move? Should I move somewhere? Aaron says, you're one of my favorite persons. I wish others would be kinder to you. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. I understand people who are unkind. It's part of their thing. It's fine. Paul says, interesting. So how would you put it? What your job is more detailed to keep the Torah and the commandments. That's it, right? Right? To passively just do our thing. Not busy ourselves with what goes on. That doesn't mean not to render aid or give humanitarian assistance, but it means basically to just do our thing, right? To just keep the Torah, keep the commandments, keep the covenant. That's our job. That's what we are here to do, to keep it going. 1776 says religion is man-made. Yes, definitely. Some religions are man-made. Some parts of all religions are man-made. That's true. Spirituality is a natural thing. Religion is man-made. I'm of the opinion as well. Blue Cheese said, aren't Jews a people with a country as stated in the torch? I'm assuming you meant Torah. So Jews are the remnants of the kingdom of Judah. So that's already only part of the tribes of Israel. As for Jews with a country, yes, there was a kingdom called Kingdom of Judah. We were exiled a couple of times. We've made our way back to this land, and there's been an unbroken presence of Jews in this land for thousands of years. Digger says, you're actually a fellow. Yes, I have. Greetings from the German nation. Greetings to you. Lies Hebrew Nazarite is the most high. I won't lie. What are you doing? How long have you had those pomegranates? So, I mean, the tree was here when we moved in about 3 years ago. The tree was already here and bearing fruit, and had been bearing fruit for many years. Hey, Jake, Matt is here. They are hearing that audio glitch when you touch your phone. Yes, because occasionally when I want to scroll down, I push something, and so it goes in a different, it goes to a different screen of, do you want to report this guy? Do you want to mute this guy? Do you want to delete this comment? So I'll try and be more, very, very sensitive. Very sensitive. Takumi says, what do you know about Mossad? That they are an international agency of Israel. They deal with espionage, right, and counterintelligence. No more dreads? No, the dreads are right here. Hello, where are the dreads? Kid Stardust. Tzedakah, compassion, mercy, and kindness, sympathy, forgiveness, says Korean baby. Yes, indeed. Kamikaze says, off with the hair and beard, test, experiment, ask, seek, I dare you. What does that even mean? First of all, I'm not allowed to cut my hair as a Nazarite. Second of all, I don't want to shave my beard as a Hebrew man. As for testing, experimenting, asking, and seeking, I do all of those things on a regular basis. Where exactly is the dare here? Are you monetized? Yes, I am a hunging rebel, and all of the money that ends up in my bank account from ad revenue, super chats, super thanks, and super stickers goes to charity organizations here in Jerusalem that serve the entire population. Why hunging rebel? If you in traveling and you can't find anything kosher to eat, would you eat halal foods? So I'm vegan, so it wouldn't be a problem for me to find a kosher place to eat. Vegan is the most kosher that there is, so I would have no problem. Oh, let's see, it happened again just now. Okay. Laser says there's stores. Yes, there are kosher stores in places. That's true. He can't cut his hair or even comb it, but he has that much hair, it would take hours just to comb. Yes, it would take days. Hunging Rebel says, I hope the money goes to help build new homes for Palestinians. So interestingly enough, people have told me, why don't you give it to Palestinians? I said, okay, I can give it to Gaza. Show me a charitable organization and give me the proof and the undeniable assurance that it won't end up in the hands of Hamas, because I know that Hamas uses many charitable organizations and different humanitarian funds, just like it uses UNRWA and the Red Crescent, in order to fund and carry out its terrorist activities. And 4 or 5 times in the last few months, people have told me, give the money not to charity in Jerusalem, give it to Gaza. And I said, okay, show me, tell me where. All 4 or 5 times they disappeared into thin air. Poof, gone. Meaning that they are all talk, no action. So if you want me to give it to, I would definitely buy, let's say, baby supplies, diapers, formula, clothes with the money, and send it over to Gazan families with babies and toddlers who might need it. I don't want it to end up in the hands of Hamas, because Hamas, and once again, Hamas can use it and sell it and convert the money to terrorist activities, or it can give those products, right, and send them into the black market and inflate the price, once again, for them to get the money. Nobody who has ever told me, give the money to Gaza, and I said, okay, show me, nobody has ever said anything. All of them, each and every one of them, never got back to me. Not in the comments, not in the DMs, nothing. They are all talk. This is sicko. Yes, I am, Blue Cheese. Yes, I am. Jim Morrison says, can you trace by record one single direct answer of what region over the past 3,000 years, or you are the first recorded person in your family to be born there? Recorded? I suppose I'm one of the first in my family, but we do have a tribal affiliation that goes back thousands of years to the kingdom of Judah as Levites. So I don't have a family tree going back 3,000 years, but I have a tribal affiliation that you cannot convert into being. You can't convert into the tribe of Levi. Are you aware most people in the world support Iran and all hate Israel? Yes, I am aware that many people think this. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm aware that many people think that the majority of the world supports Iran. Now, as for supporting Iran, there's a difference between supporting the Iranian Persian people and supporting the government. Jim Morrison says, so you made up your ancestral ties. No, I didn't. Hello, welcome back. How was it? Eh? Did you get an answer? Okay, do you know when you'll... Okay. Hang on. You made up your ancestral ties. So I definitely did not make up the ancestral ties because there's a tribal affiliation that you cannot convert to. So I always say I don't have the actual family tree. It makes no difference to me. Oh my God, a Jew. Yes, that's correct. You've lost your lineage, you're European. No, definitely not, Sid. Definitely, most definitely not. The fact that I'm a Jew means that I'm of Judea, right? My ancestors come from Judea, this very place. They were kicked out into Europe. They were kicked out into different places, made their way to the States, and back here. So it all comes down to the time frame that you choose to ascribe significance to ascribe or attribute significance to. For you, it's a historical lens that starts, 1,500 years ago. For me, it's a historical lens that starts before that. That's all. Look at him braggy. DNA testing, hello? Yes, DNA testing means nothing. Even if I'm a convert, I'm 100% Jewish. Do you understand? DNA has nothing to do with it. Because it really doesn't matter. The idea of the DNA testing and the idea of the ancestry and the lineage, it does have something to do with tribal affiliation. It has something to do with, right, just literally how far back you go. But converts, righteous converts are Jews, and their project Jewish 100%. So how does that even make a difference? And it would be one thing if no converts were allowed in Judaism, then I would understand. But the fact that right in the Torah, there is the allowance for conversion, DNA testing is beside the point. Rebel says, I convert, do I get to steal a home from a Palestinian too? Well, Israel does not steal homes. You must be misinformed. Going back to your ancestral home and fighting a defensive war against terrorists who want to eliminate you hardly counts as stealing. Is this due to Rabbi? No, I'm not. A conspiracy theory? A conspiracy nut? No, I'm not. A hippie or what? I guess I'm a what? I guess out of all of those, I guess I'm a what? What about you, Jan? Oh man, it happened again. Every time. Every time. Okay. Ah, what a beautiful bird. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hummingbird. Oh, wow. Look at that. Bye-bye, hummingbird. I hope you find some nectar. You decimated whole of Gaza and West Bank has no Hamas fighters. Why oppress them? What are you talking about? Hamas are not the only ones in control. Hamas were elected democratically in Gaza, but the Palestinian Authority are all terrorists in suits. So what are you talking about? They encourage terrorism. They finance terrorism. They encourage it financially. They encourage it ideologically. They're terrorists in suits. What's the difference? Hummingbirds are awesome. It's true. They are. I just inverted to Judaism. What is the purpose of the two dreads? What two dreads are you talking about? Do you mean the side curls, the peot, the side locks? Is that what you mean? Israel has the right to defend its people. That is correct. Smoochie says, the hate you incur does make me glad to see you support your traditions. Yes, not completely blindly, right? In the same way that I don't follow the Zionist, Israeli government's agenda, and I don't follow it blindly. I'm critical of the army, I'm critical of the establishment, but yeah, definitely, I've lived long enough and have seen enough and have experienced enough to know at least something about the nature of the situation. Yes, those. So they are an embellishment on the prohibition against shaving off the corners of the head. They represent what's called a din kodesh, sacred judgment. With the men, right, it's two side curls that sort of come into the beard. The beard represents a certain divine revelation. The hair represents a certain divine revelation. And so when you have two locks on each side that are sort of connecting to the beard, all of them growing down, it has to do with the way that God is revealed in the world and the way that God is revealed through the individual made in the image of God. But basically speaking, it's an embellishment. It's not a commandment. Israel does not have the right to colonize nations. Okay, Israel has not colonized nations. Israel took over at the time of Joshua and the Israelite army, and before that with Moses. But Israel is not a colony. In order for there to be a colony, there needs to be a mother state. But Israel is the mother state, meaning there is no colony. And Britain did not annex the land and make it part of the British Empire, meaning it's not a colony. The last time that this place was an actual colony was during the times of Rome, after the destruction of the temple, when Rome renamed this place the province of Syria Palestina. I understand. I did this naturally and instinctively after conversation. It is something that is divinely guided. Yes, I had long side curls as well that I grew from scratch, and they're still here. Just the hair grew around them. I never took them off. Hey, Beeswax is here. Good day to you too. Monica says the name says it all. Judea. Yes, it's true. Jacko says the Palestinian people existed. No, not really. Not as a nation or an identity. Have there been people here for hundreds and thousands of years who are not Jewish? Yes. They were not Palestinians. The original Palestinians were Jews. That's why the Romans called this place Syria Palestina, to make the Jews forget about Judea. Didn't work. We're still here. Now, are there people who have been here who also deserve to live in this land? Yes, of course. In love and in peace, in harmony and dignity. Yes, raise families. Sure. You are stupid, says Turtle Fart. Love the name Turtle Fart, and yes, indeed, I am stupid. That is correct. Arabs are from Yemen, says Sevi. Well, Arabs are from Arabia, and the Arab conquest of a few hundred years did a lot to change the world map. Mark says there's lots of colonized countries on this planet. Israel is not one of them. That is correct. Mr. Quad is here. How you doing? Brother, you look good today. How's life there? Life is okay. Life is treating me kindly. Thank God. Thank God. Hoping for a good week. Truly hoping for a good week. I don't know what will be. I don't know how it will be, but I'm hoping for a good week ahead. For sure. Stupid like a fox, says Jay. How long did the Ottomans rule India? Yes, they ruled over it, and they had a few hundred years of ruling here, right? But they never actually colonized it in the sense of it was part of the Ottoman Empire, I suppose, but they never established an independent kingdom here. There was never, after the kingdom of Judah fell, it didn't, I don't think there was anybody who claimed it as such, right, as an independent sort of kingdom or nation. Do you have toothbrushes in Israel? Yes, we use them regularly. Space your Jace, what if you are born with straight hair except curls on the side right here? Is there precedent for that in any book? I have no idea. I know that it doesn't have to be curls. You can just let it grow wild. Right? You shave the rest of your hair and let the sides grow wild. It can be thin, it can be very thick. I am. What's up? If you hate Israel, what are you doing here, haters? Yes, they're here to hate. That's all well and good. Why do you hate Muslims, says Turtlefart. I don't, but so lovely of you to assume that I hate, with nothing to back it up. Some people have. Also, your wife can nag you for not having a shave. That is correct. Enjoyed sitting in your garden in Jerusalem. I feel blessed. Thank you. Thank you, Saron. Fun. Why did you circumcise your wife? I didn't, Turtlefart. As far as I know, she has not been circumcised. Why? Do you know something I don't? Did I drop my pick? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. The Kingdom of Khazaria. I'm a writer, quad game, that's what I do. No, I'm not going to do any covers or anything else right now. I'm just strumming today. Thanks, Monica. Thanks for the goodbye. Israel is a nation of violence. Iran is a nation of peace unless it's defense. Sure it is. Sure it is. Of course it is. Honging rebel. Of course, you're absolutely. Do you speak fluent Hebrew? Yes, I do. I'm bilingual. Steve says, when the UN creates the Palestinian state, they did in 1947, and the Palestinian leadership rejected it. So, will you respect the borders? I dare say that I will. But what are you asking me as? Lucky Street says, if you never cut the sides of your hair, why aren't they extremely long? That's simply the way that the hair grows. What do you mean? It's not long enough for you? Hang on, let's see. Oh. I mean, the peot are over here. So this, it's pretty long, is it not? I don't know. Some would say it's pretty long. Man, it's so sensitive. It keeps. Myth says, I've been an atheist Christian and now realizing Judaism is more accurate, but Islam is absurdism. I'm curious, why is Islam absurdism to you? Why does Arabic sound better than Hebrew? I don't speak Arabic or Hebrew. I like Arabic, I like Hebrew, I like Aramaic as well. Those are sister languages. Not answer where his parents are from, it'll expose. Sid, you seem to think that I'm following every single thing that you're saying and choosing to ignore or not answer, which is false. So don't be so self-absorbed. My parents were born and raised in the United States. And me and my brothers were born and raised in Israel. Our ancestors before the US, a few generations before that, were in Europe, and many generations before that were right here in Judea. Saran says, why, Sid, you come off your game? I'm glad you took a break, though, and welcome. Say what now? Oh man, this keeps on popping up. Things that I'm choosing. I'm just slow. Very cool like that, you play guitar. Thanks, man. Thanks, Kyle. The good bud. No, I mean, I could have you in an hour. Play a power chord. He's American, a European American. No, see, I'm Hebrew, man. And see, you seem to have a great difficulty with wrapping your head around that. Okay? Born and raised in Israel, raised religious in Jerusalem, worship the one Hebrew God, follow the Hebrew Torah, keep the commandments, the Sabbaths, the holidays, the feasts, and the fasts, and yet all you care about is a geographical location. The mere fact that there are converts in the Hebrew faith, once again, and this is in the Torah, should tell you that it doesn't matter where you come from. You fused yourself to the Hebrew people. You're part of the Hebrew people, whether you convert or whether it's a biological thing. So Blue Cheesy, you can think that I'm European, you can think that I'm Asian, you can think that I'm African, you can think that I'm from Antarctica. It makes zero difference. It has zero bearing on the situation. You seem to not be able to wrap your head around that. Aaron says, I've been studying Hebrew for a while, but find the vowels confusing at times. Any tips? No, because I never studied Hebrew like that. You know, it's something I was born into. I'm a natural speaker, so I can't tell you the tips. The vowels are indeed confusing, right? You have patach and kamatz and sereh and segol, and they both sound the same, but they both have they're both very different. So I have no tips, unfortunately. You're a Yank. Digger says he does not look European. Yes, people say I look European. People say I don't look European. People say I look Middle Eastern. People say I don't look Middle Eastern. People see what they want to see. Do you understand? People see whatever it is that will confirm their biases. That's first and foremost what they see. And once again, it always has to do with the time frame from which you choose to start. Wait, there's a mic? Okay. It all has to do with time frame from where you choose to start. From where you choose to start. I'll put my hair back. Ugh. For the mic. Right, so do you start, when does time start? Does it start 20 years ago, 200 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago? When does it start? That's all that it is. Mr. Quad says, you guys need to stop caring about where he is from. This dude is just an Israeli that spawned on the wrong side of the planet. It's not that hard. How do you feel that it's the wrong side of the planet? What do you mean? You look like a fan of the Grateful Dead. I am a fan of the Grateful Dead. Paul Commodore says, you mean the Talmud? What do you mean? He was born and raised in Jersey. He's a LARPer. No, I've been to Jersey once or twice in my life on vacation, visiting friends and family in New York. But I was not born or raised there. I was born in Israel, raised in Jerusalem, been in Jerusalem pretty much my entire life. But of course, people will say all kinds of things, again, to confirm their own misguided notions, because they really, really need to believe these things. They want to attribute all kinds of things to Jews. They want to attribute all kinds of things to skin color. They want to attribute all kinds of things to lineage and ancestry. They want to attribute all kinds of things to the time frame that they deem is the beginning of whatever conflict this is. Or the user says, remember, you support genocide. Really? When have I supported genocide? Please, user, give me the time and place. The time and place when I supported genocide. I would love to hear this. I'm getting a Berlin bagel this morning. No, not really. Why do you have an American accent? I'm born in Israel because my parents are from New York and they taught me English. Ladev, Ladev, 91. Also, I don't know if it's Jewish American. I think it's simply American. Are you? Yes, I am. GGG. If they call again, I might have to take that call. I'll be right back afterwards. Hey, Scott Knight. Milikowski, they're all fakes. No, that's not fake in the least. But okay, whatever you say, man. You seriously have no idea what you're talking about. But that's all well and good. You don't have to. This is YouTube. It's the interwebs. You don't have to know what you're talking about. All you need to do is keep going and feel confident in your ability to say whatever it is you want. Keith says, why do Jews try to steal all the wealth and censorship and cause world wars? See, that's you making a really, really broad assumption about Jews, Keith Dizzle. I don't think Jews are trying to steal all the wealth, nor do I think that they are trying to censor and cause world wars. But it seems that you have made up your mind to such a degree that not only are you sure of it, but you're asking why it is that that is the case. And since I don't agree with the entire premise of what you're saying, I can't really answer the question. Long live IDF. Yes, indeed. The Israeli Defense Forces. I've been with them for a few years, but yes, you lie about everything, says Rebel. Really? What lies have I told? Please share. I'd love to know. These politicians, Israelis, have changed their names in Hebrew. Yes, this is correct, because when we return to the Hebrew land, why keep the old name if you don't want to keep it? Surnames mean absolutely nothing. Surnames have only been a thing for the past 1,000 years or so. And with some people of the Hebrew faith, they denote a tribal affiliation, right? The different priests and Levites, sometimes they denote location or profession, but they mean absolutely nothing. There is no such thing, and there was no such thing in the Torah or in the Bible as a last name. It was always X son of Y or Z daughter of A. So that's simply you grasping at straws, trying to paint Israel or certain people, certain Jews in a bad light, when you have zero, like no leg to stand on whatsoever, because surnames are meaningless. They can, again, there's something attributed to them insofar as where you come from, your profession, things of that nature, but it has nothing to do with anything. And there are many people, when they were done with the exile and they came to the land of Israel, they decided we will no longer keep our exilic name, be it Mizrahi or European Ashkenazi. We will take on a new last name that is more Israeli. That's what that is. That is Hebrew instead of Greenberg, right? For instance, I know, right? Greenberg means Green Mountain. And I know a woman who renamed, who changed her last name to Har Yarok, literally Green Mountain in Hebrew. So what's the problem there? Keep it going, keep it flowing. All my support to the Jewish people. Appreciated. Once again, the screen is too sensitive. In some things it's good, but right now with me scrolling in the chat, it's just not bad. It's just not good. It's kind of bad. I don't understand why people watch this fucking broom. I'm a broom, Jacko Bassface? Do you play bass? Is it all about that bass? Are you all about that bass? Jim Morris says the Khazars converted to Judaism in the Middle Ages for commercial gain as the middlemen of Eastern Europe. It's not your ancestral land. Faith should transcend. The kingdom of God is not of this world. Well, first of all, faith should transcend what? Second of all, yes, it is the ancestral home of the Jews, and even if it's done for commercial gain, the Khazar theory has been debunked many, many times over. It's literal bullshit and means absolutely nothing in the long run. Second of all, if they converted to Judaism, them and their progeny are 100% Jewish, which means that the land of the kingdom of Judah, that's here, the land of the tribes of Israel, the land of Israel, right, is part and parcel of what they are called to, well, they are the part and parcel of what they are called to, right, the Torah and the people and the land. After the stream, clean the screen with an alcohol wipe could help. Yeah, maybe. Rebel says, how many countries are there? Around 290? Only one nation is extremely violent. Rebel, you have no idea of any history at all if you think there's only one violent country in the world. You really have lost any credibility, any kind of authenticity you may have had in regards to what you've been saying here in live stream. I'm sorry to tell you, but this just makes you look completely naive, misinformed, and really, really, so what I'm looking for, ignorant. Now, by all means, be ignorant, but I wouldn't spread that around. Some people. It's amazing that there are people who think that Israel is the most violent country in the world. It's amazing that some people think Israel is the only violent country in the world. You can tell these people have never read history. Seriously. You just lost any credibility you could have. Yeah, exactly. Stop giving them oxygen. They have never left their town. That's okay. Don't attack the person or you lose. Well, I don't usually go for ad hominems, but based on what you're saying, you seem to be entirely ignorant of world history at large and the history of the Middle East in particular, if you think Israel is the only violent nation. And maybe you haven't been outside your town, and maybe you are ignorant, but it's not an ad hominem. This is simply because you're saying what you're saying, it seems, with such a degree of confidence and know-it-allery. So I'm going to push back against that and call you out and say, no, that's entirely incorrect, and it makes you seem naive and ignorant and misinformed. That's all, which is all true. I said it really is the most violent nation. No, you said, if I can, how many countries are there? Around 290? Only one nation is extremely violent. Those are your words verbatim. You said only one nation is extremely violent, and that is demonstrably not true. Yes. So you didn't say Israel is the most violent. I read what you said. You're mistaken. Now you're just moving the goalposts. Hang on, I gotta take this call. CW says, so is Israel violent? Your words? Yes, Israel can definitely be violent. Israel has fought many wars. Israel constantly needs to defend itself against terrorist organizations that want to eradicate it. So sometimes you use violence. Obviously. Obviously, sometimes you use violence. Name a really violent nation in modern times. Do it. What are you talking about? What about, first of all, what about the United States? Second of all, what about Iran? Third, what about Iraq? And what about all of the nations in East Africa that are still with tribal fighting? Do you even know what you're talking about? I'm guessing no. You really, really. Wow, that is Spider-Man for you. You play a shofar. I own a shofar. It's one of the only things that I still do regularly. It's not vegan, and I, as a vegan, do it. I blow the shofar every month, and I blow the shofar during the high holidays. The Iran wars? What about the Iran-Iraq war of the 1980s? Do you know how bloody that was? Seriously. It just seems you have no idea what you're talking about. Blop says, technology is mind-blowing. It's crazy how we can all talk from all over the earth. Yes, it's true. It's very, very true. Shofar sounds really nice. Yeah, it does. It really, really does. Scrolling down. Scrolling down. Don't have a concept of history. Hey guys, am I shadow banned? No, you are not, El Monye or EI Monye. No, as far as I can tell, you're not shadow banned. I have no idea. Now, Israel exports a lot of weapons, so it's probably had a hand in wars that have nothing to do with its own borders or with terrorist organizations. Israel sells weapons to Europe, Israel sells weapons to Africa, Israel sells weapons to other places. Now, some people push back and say that the Israeli government should not be profiting over other people's wars, or from other people's wars, and the sale of weapons. Now, I don't have enough of a view to truly know what goes on there. I know that weapons is one of Israel's greatest, by percentage, I mean, greatest exports. So I'm not sure. There are some things that I don't feel right about in that sense, and that I wouldn't support if given the option. But there are those who are so anti-Israel, and they think that Israel has its hand in all the conflict, and all the wars, and all of media, and all of banking, and all of this, and all of that, that there's some sort of Jewish cabal controlling the world. If there was a Jewish cabal controlling the world, would Israel be so hated? I ask you. People don't think things through. So you just admit you don't know enough? You defended, says Jacob. I'll defend things with what I know, but I never claim to have the absolute truth, the absolute knowledge, the absolute wisdom, not at all. But I have my point of view, and I call things like I see them. So to say that Israel is one of the most violent nations currently on Earth, I would say it definitely has the capacity to be one of the most violent nations. Is it? No, I don't think that it is. Definitely could be. It could be. Yes, that's right. It's Cookie Monster. Enjoy. Your terrorists force don't hide their crimes. Well, as I've said many times before, if there are people in government and in the IDF that are actually carrying out crimes, right, war crimes against humanity and so on, different atrocities, then they should be brought to justice and put on trial. But simply to tar Israel and its army and its government with that one same brush means that you simply want your biases confirmed and nothing more. Because there is indisputable evidence that Israel has done everything in its power, or a lot at any rate, if not everything in its power, what other countries have never done in order to minimize civilian casualties. Whereas Hamas embeds itself and the other combatants embed themselves into the civilian population with the precise intent of maximizing civilian casualty, and they've been very open and brazen about this. So again, what you're saying is wrong. But as for Israel's potential for violence, definitely there's a great potential for a lot of violence. But there's potential and then there's actual. So yeah, people will say whatever they want to say in order to back up their claims about Jews, their claims about Israel. They don't really care as long as they'll believe anything. They will believe anything as long as it backs up what they think. Now, again, we all have our biases, and all have this tendency to want our biases confirmed. But then there's actual truth and evidence and documented things which go against and fly in the face of what these people are saying, and it's just an inconvenient truth for them. Yes, minimize, Jacko. Hundreds and thousands of phone calls, faxes, emails, SMS, text messages, leaflets, humanitarian zones. Yes, to minimize civilian casualties. Look it up. You will see that I am 100% correct. And just because you want to turn a blind eye to Israel's interests in helping the innocent Palestinian population, just because you want to turn a blind eye to it because it flies in the face of the generalization you're trying to make, doesn't make it any less true, any less verifiable, any less of a documented fact. So if you want to choose to say, no, it never happened, by all means do. Do whatever you want. But if you're actually interested in finding out the truth about the terrorist organizations versus the Israeli Defense Forces, it is all too easy. And again, are there individual people who are homicidal, genocidal maniacs in government and in the army? Yes, and they don't belong in government or in the army. I don't think they belong there, and I don't support them. I condemn them and their actions. I think it's a terrible thing. But that's war, and in war, people die all the time, especially in such a dense urban warfare sort of situation where Hamas deliberately raised the casualties, right? And they report many people who died of natural causes as, killed by this or that, because they want to receive more money, they want to receive more aid, they want to receive more sympathy, and they want people to be martyred for their cause while their leaders are millionaires and billionaires and who don't give two shits about the population. Yeah. Just like any other. I'm not sure what you mean by just like any other army. I respect your opinion. I tell you a story about my Palestinian captain in the football club. He was really friendly and nice, and he said that his family is living in Israel because they took it. What? Jacko says, shave that filth off your head and bow to Allah. You know, I don't see that happening. See you later, 3FX. Have a good one, man. You broke all the laws by the book. Don't give us this sad sob story, SID says. Well, first of all, Sid, I'm not giving you a sob story. Second of all, I did not break all the laws in the book. You are generally mistaken about that. But again, you will say whatever it is that will make you feel good about yourself. You will make whatever it is that will make you and your agenda fit reality and vice versa. So I don't really attribute anything other than a confirmation bias to the things that you're saying. You're not bringing any evidence, and you're not even showing that you're open-minded about the possibility of what I'm saying kind of being correct. So, Spartacus says, I understand you want peace, but both sides play dirty games. Yes, they do play dirty games. Both sides do. You need to wage war with wisdom and with deception. Right? You need to know what you're doing when you go into combat. Atheism requires time travel. It's not possible to prove God the Big Bang. I don't know about that, myths. I don't know if necessarily atheism and the Big Bang go together. As such, could be. I believe in the Big Bang. I believe in the Big Bang in the sense that it's the leading hypothesis right now, or theory. Oh, my battery is about to run out. My battery will run out soon, but I think, hold on a second. I think maybe I'll say goodbye soon. I have a guitar in my hand too. Hey, Blacktooth. Yeah, I think I'm going to say goodbye. People, this has been so much fun. Hanging out with you this lovely Sunday afternoon. If I didn't get to you in the chat, please leave a comment. I do address every comment that is addressed to me that YouTube notifies me of. And if you want to hit me up in the DMs, Hebrew Nazarite on X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, look for my tree. I will see you maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe I don't know when, on the next live stream where the wonders never cease. May there be peace and unity all over creation. May we be able to overcome our shortcomings, our differences, our faults and frailties. May war and bloodshed and conflict be lifted clean out of creation. Even right now as I'm speaking these words, may it be so. May we be able to embrace each other as earthlings, made in the image of God, no more, no less. May we lead life in such a way where we'll be able to focus on the positive and not the negative, and find ways to become more than what we are and be better. And instead of leaving things vaguely somewhere in the ether of the mind, bring them down into creation and carry them out in the world, to live humbly and walk righteously and simply before God. Until the next time, thank you for joining me. Peace and love from Jerusalem. Leitot.